They say addiction creeps up on you. It doesn't announce itself with flashing lights or sirens. Rather, it slithers in, like a lover in the night, whispering sweet lies in your ear, convincing you that one more time won't hurt. I should know, because for years I belonged to the night. My name is Maya Barlow, and for the longest time I was addicted to the touch of my own hands, to the promise of pleasure that pulled me under like a riptide, to the fleeting high that felt like love but left me emptier each time. This is my confession. It started after my divorce. I had been married for 18 years, faithfully, dutifully. But when my husband walked away, he took more than half my savings and my faith in love. He took the intimacy, the warmth of another body beside mine. I told myself I didn't need a man. I was an educated woman, a college professor, a mother, strong, independent. But at night, when the loneliness became a living thing, crawling into bed with me, I sought comfort the only way I knew how. At first it was innocent, a way to release the tension, to forget. But then it became something else, something darker. I stopped waiting for the loneliness to come to me. I invited it in. I rushed home from work just to lock myself in my bedroom, to chase that feeling before dinner, before grading papers, before sleep. If a day passed without it, I was restless, irritable, hungry. I started carrying a discreet little device in my purse, sneaking moments in my office when no one was looking. I told myself it was harmless. After all, I wasn't cheating. I wasn't hurting anyone. But I was lying to myself, because the truth, I was no longer in control. And then one night it happened, the night I lost everything. I remember it vividly. A Friday night. The house was mine, just me and my need. I had drawn the curtains, dimmed the lights, lit candles. I needed it, the way an addict needs a hit. The tension in my body was unbearable, my fingers shaking as I reached for my most trusted companion. I fell onto the couch, losing myself in the moment, in the pleasure that blurred the edges of my reality. My breath came fast, my skin burning. Bang, bang, bang. A knock at the door. Not the front door. My bedroom door. Mom? I froze. My son. Evan wasn't supposed to be home. He was in town for the weekend, but he had plans. He wasn't supposed to be home. I scrambled up, my heartbeat pounding so loudly I thought it would burst from my chest. The vibrator, still humming, rolled off the couch and onto the floor with a soft thud. Mom, are you okay? His voice was too close, too knowing. I willed myself to speak, to pretend nothing was wrong. Just a second, I choked out. I grabbed a robe, shut off the betraying device, and forced myself to breathe. When I opened the door, Evan's face changed. His eyes scanned me, the sweat on my skin, the rapid rise and fall of my chest, the unmistakable tension in the air. And then the realization. It settled over his face like a shadow. I had never known silence could cut so deep. He didn't speak, just gave me this look, this mix of disappointment and something else, something that burned more than shame, pity. That night I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling like I had drowned in my own need. I had to stop. The next morning I did something I never imagined. I sat in my car outside a support group for sex and love addiction. I almost didn't go in. I didn't belong there. I wasn't like them, the ones who risked their marriages, careers, dignity. But hadn't I? Hadn't I lost my son's respect, my self-control, my peace? So I walked inside. I listened to the men and women who spoke of secret rendezvous, of chasing pleasure like it was their god, of losing themselves in the moment just to escape the emptiness that always came after. And for the first time I understood. I wasn't just addicted to pleasure. I was addicted to escape, to numbing my loneliness, to avoiding the truth that I didn't know who I was outside of being someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's professor. Who was I when I was just me? For weeks I fought. I meditated. I journaled. I gave my body to other things, to movement, to stillness, to self-care that wasn't about drowning in sensation, but feeling again. I thought I was healed, until the night temptation came knocking. It was late. The air was thick with the kind of silence that used to send me straight to my drawer. The craving came like an old lover, whispering, begging, just one more time. I reached for the drawer, then stopped. Instead, I walked to the mirror. I looked at myself, at the body I had been using, escaping through, hiding in. The curves, the stretch marks, the years of laughter and pain written on my skin. And for the first time, I touched myself without urgency, not to escape, not to numb, but to reclaim myself. Tears slipped down my face, but I let them. Because this time I wasn't running. This time I was in control. I won't lie and say I never struggle. Some nights the whispers still come. But now I have a choice. I have learned that desire isn't the enemy, that pleasure isn't shameful. But when it owns you, when it rules you, it is no longer pleasure. It is a prison. And I refuse to be caged. Overcoming my addiction wasn't about willpower alone. It was about changing my patterns. I had to get honest with myself. I removed the triggers. I stopped bringing my vibrator to bed, set boundaries around when and where I allowed myself pleasure, and replaced the ritual with healthier habits, late-night reading, stretching, even calling a friend when the urge crept in. Therapy helped me unpack the deeper wounds I had been numbing, and joining a support group reminded me that I wasn't alone. It wasn't an instant fix. There were setbacks, nights when I slipped, mornings when guilt tried to take over. But each time I forgave myself and tried again. Slowly the need lost its grip. And one day I realized I was no longer running to it. I was running toward myself. And that was the greatest pleasure of all. My name is Maya Barlow, and I am finally free.